tradition, conservation, family, the outdoors. It matters to you. It matters to us. This is Hunting Matters, presented by Houston Safari Club Foundation. Here's Joe Betar.
Good morning, everybody. This is Joe Betar. Joe Betar. I can't even talk this
Are you
morning.
sure?
I haven't had enough coffee. This is Joe Betar, your host of Hunting Matters.
I am Ramon Robles.
You know what it is? I'm having a hazelnut creamer overload.
Oh my goodness! How's that?
Well, I reached for the regular and I got hazelnut, and I don't do it, so my tongue feels like it's 10 feet thick.
Doesn't understand what's going on.
Not good.
Although you put enough sugar in there to
I don't use sugar.
Sweet and low.
That was sweet and low.
Yeah,
Just two.
Woo.
I gotta have something.
Two,
yeah.
Wow. No wonder you can't taste anything.
Hey, you know, the only way it'd be sweeter is if I dip my finger in it.
That's nonsense.
Boom, boom.
Oh, that's funny.
So what's going on, man?
Not a lot. You know, we're just making it through. It's already February. Is it February yet? Where is it?
Yeah.
29, 30. How many days in January?
You know, my wife says I can't tell time because I'll say, "Oh, I got to go to bed. It's 11 o'clock." She's like, "It's 10:15." I'm like, "It's 11 o'clock on my watch."
It's only the 30th, but I mean, it's flying by.
Yeah.
Just, but that happens. I understand as you get older, time is.
That's what you've heard, anyway.
That's what I've heard. I don't know. I'm only 43,
Yeah,
so
I can tell you for a fact that it flies by quicker and quicker.
Well, I went out. Did I talk about the hunting thing? Yeah, I talked about the hunting thing. Did the fishing thing last weekend too.
Cool.
Took the kids fishing. It's great to get them out and just explore the wild, get some fresh air.
Yeah.
They restocked Tom Bass Park.
Oh yeah. Did you guys get any trout?
No. But we're using cane poles and baloney.
Okay.
I mean, it's really just to get the kids out and dunk the pole in the water and have them chase squirrels and just things like that. When it's when we need to start depending on the catches to eat,
right?
I'll get serious about the fishing pole and bait.
Yeah, well, they don't care. They just want to stick a line in the water at that age.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Cool. That's cool, though. I'm glad you guys got a chance to get out. What did we do? Oh, well, since you shunned me last weekend, we Houston Safari Club Foundation held our annual European Tower pheasant shoot. We had over 50 people show up.
Nice. Sold
out. A lot of people got to go outdoors, get socially distanced, have a good time, shoot some pheasant. I mean, it was a blast. We had a great time. So that was a big success. And now we're planning some events coming up here in the next few months. Outdoor, we're going to be doing. We're planning on a crawfish boil. We're planning on all kinds of outdoor activities that are in development, so people can come. They want to get outdoors. They just want to gather, but we want to do it safely and responsibly. So planning a lot of that stuff.
I like everything about a crawfish boil except the crawfish. Not a crawfish guy. Don't even like the way the corn and potatoes taste.
You're not a seafood guy.
Yeah, that's correct. Okay. I don't do seafood, but I like the camaraderie.
Yeah.
I like the drinking that goes on.
Yeah.
And most of the time, people bring out other food anyway. So it's and this is the season. It's perfect season here in Texas for that because the weather's not humid and hot. It's
Good. Yeah, we're going to do a crawfish boil and have a fun shoot. We'll do a sporting clays competition, but just informal, just have some guys doing knockout tournaments and that sort of thing. So it'll be fun. And then, I almost forgot, February 27th, we're going to have a live virtual auction.
Cool.
People can go to the website at Houston Safari Club Foundation at wehuntwegive.org, click on the convention button, and then click on the live auction button. You can get registered, this coming week. You can go to the website, sign up, get registered as a bidder. Items will be up for sale, hunting trips, fishing trips, art, jewelry, and more. That'll go live here in about the next week. And then on the 27th, gather your buddies or your family around, and we're going to actually do a live broadcast. We're going to have an auctioneer running video through our Facebook page and our YouTube page so you can actually watch the proceedings, and we'll have the auctioneer and do a live virtual auction. So that's big fundraiser for us, and there's a lot of cool items on there. There's a really nice custom design President's rifle that we do every year that's got two different calibers. It's got a North American caliber barrel interchangeable with an African safari barrel.
I have no idea what that means.
Custom engraving. So you can it's got the capability to hunt deer and stuff in North America, but you can also change out the barrel and go to South Africa and hunt Cape buffalo with it.
With different caliber of bullet.
Different caliber of bullet. All works in the same gun.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Very cool.
So it'll be cool.
Now, one of the items ought to be co-host the show with us.
Ooh.
Throw that in there. It doesn't cost you anything.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I've always found that, involving the show in auctions like that really.
Well, just if a chance to meet you.
Well, don't do that. But just a thought.
That's cool. I didn't think about that.
I think that $10 that you get from that will go a long way.
Maybe we'll do that lunch.
Ooh.
What about doing lunch with you and I?
Ooh, okay.
And then have them come in and be a guest on the show.
Okay. Like after the show, like lunch during the week?
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to vet them.
Okay. We'll figure it out.
You get some crazy people listening to the show.
I understand.
And they carry guns.
Yeah. Well,
so just,
That's cool. That's a great idea.
Okay.
I think I'll
try that.
Pitch that to the crew. All right. So this week we've got a really cool guest. I'll call him a visionary, if you will, in the outdoor space. His name is Brad Letrell. Brad is the founder of the GoWild app, and I know you and I have talked about that.
Yep.
It's a very cool app for outdoorsmen, especially in the face of what's happening in social media. So, Brad Letrell, you can learn about them at timetogowild.com, and then also go to downloadgowild.com to get the app. Brad, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Morning, guys. How are you?
Very well.
Well, we're just running through our usual chat session, but I thought, since you're hanging there and waiting on us, we probably should bring you up on the show.
I don't know what this warm weather talks about. We've had like 3 or 4 inches of snow up here in Kentucky this week, so it sounds nice down there.
It's not bad. I think it got into 40 last night, but we'd like to see more snow here.
Yeah, my kids are enjoying it. We actually don't get that many snows, so.
Yeah. So you're in Kentucky. Is that where you grew up?
I did. I grew up in Appalachia, actually, so down in the Cumberland Gap. I was born in Harlan County, spent most of my life in the Cumberland Gap growing up, hunting, fishing, off-roading, all of it's just a way of life down there.
Now, the only other time I've heard of the Cumberland Gap is in a song. Do you know which song I'm referring to?
I do. I'm assuming it's Wagon Wheel.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Cumberland Gap.
In which he says the wrong direction for which the Cumberland Gap is from Johnson City.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna write Old Crow Medicine Show right now and have them retract that.
Yeah, fun fact, I think Bob Dylan wrote part of that song. And they took it, and I can't remember if he wrote the verse or the chorus, but part of that's theirs. And
they had to give him credit, and so if you look at the writing credits, it's Bob Dylan and Old Crow Medicine Show.
I had no clue.
And now my kids will think that Darius Rucker wrote that song.
Oh, that's right. Funny. I forgot it. Yeah, of course.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we've got about 1 minute before we jump into the break, but Brad, I just want to ask you before we get rolling onto this, what are your earliest childhood memories of being outdoors? Have you always hunted and fished? Did your dad introduce it? How did you get into it?
My first memory is standing out by a chicken coop and shooting a 38 special with my grandfather, and I think my ears rang for like a week. And just always being outside. I mean, it really wasn't even hunting; it was fishing with my grandfather and shooting firearms was really the first memory that comes to mind.
That's cool. That's cool. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break right here. We're talking today to Brad Letrell. Brad is the co-founder and CEO of GoWild. Learn about them at timetogowild.com. Join us on the other side of this break.
Headed down south to the land of the pines. I'm thumbing my way to North Carolina, staring up the road and pray to God I
Good
see
morning.
headlights.
Welcome back to Hunting Matters, brought to you by the Houston Safari Club Foundation. I'm your host, Joe Vitar.
I am Ramon Robles.
Why are you disrobing?
Well, it's hot in here. For some reason, when it gets the least chilly outside, they crank the heat in the building to 94.
Yeah.
I mean, we complain about the heat all the time.
Right.
So when it gets cool, naturally the building would say, oh, well, let's crank that up to 94. And so they're overcompensating.
Lovely.
Yeah, so that's what I was doing.
All right, folks. Here on Hunting Matters this week, we've got Brad Letrell. Brad is the co-founder and CEO of GoWild. It's the coolest social media community and app out there around. We've been working with Brad actually since they first started. Houston Safari Club Foundation first partnered with Brad. There was something in my gut that just said this is going to be the next big thing, and they have literally blown up. So I want to talk about the app and all the things that they're doing. So good morning, Brad. How you doing?
Good morning, guys. Doing well. And, Joe, you were the first person I think I heard from. The app launched in September, and I heard from you in mid-October, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Nice.
Yep.
Now,
Yep.
if
Ramon's
you
always doubting my my foresight, so thank you for saying that.
now, if you don't know, this is the app that shut down GameStop, right?
What? Oh, yeah.
No,
this is okay. All right, very good. Just making sure.
that story's still evolving.
Yeah, how about that?
We're still seeing how that shakes out.
Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, I checked out the app. It's phenomenal.
Yeah. I call it also the no judgment app because people are friendly and they don't judge you on what you post. And if you post something that's out of line, it gets addressed pretty quickly. So in the right way, of course.
People, early in the days, people were like, "Oh my God, how did we build this great community?" And everybody thought it was going to change. And when we had 10,000 people, they said it was going to change, and 50,000 people, they said it was going to change, and now it cracked 100,000, they said it was going to change. And I don't really know what it is. I think part of it is once you get off of a mainstream platform and you can put down that that fighting with anti-hunters and you're constantly defending yourself, people are just cool. It's like hunt camp all of a sudden, and you can post a picture of a spike or a doe or squirrels or whatever it is you're hunting, and people are just really, really friendly about it.
And Brad, do you agree? It's pretty. I mean, I know you guys have to step in occasionally, but I think it's pretty much a self-policing, thing as far as somebody gets out of line. Do you agree?
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's a reporting system, so if we have a policy of be nice essentially, and we do have a terms of service. It's not like it's the Wild West, and if something gets reported, and if something, our policy is not what you'll find on mainstream platforms because we're looking for things like it's in our new terms that we're rolling out. We went in and made this even more specific. You can't bully somebody over illegally taking an animal, and if people find somebody chastising a kid or something, we'll take it. We'll evaluate that. It depends on the situation, but the community is really in control to be able to report that stuff and to get it to us quickly.
Yeah, and I'm on there all the time, so I think everybody does a pretty good job of being fair and equitable as far as their comments and feedback as well. So I'm going to come back to the app in a second, but I know you didn't start in this world, so what's your background, Brad?
Yeah, I grew up in southeastern Kentucky. I went to the University of Kentucky for school, was a journalism major, thought I was going to work at all the big newspapers. I graduated right in the middle of the Great Recession. So my first internship, it's like, hey, welcome aboard. We just laid off half the staff. And that began my 2-year decline in journalism. So I jumped over to advertising. I met two of my co-founders at that first agency. And longer story than we have time for, but it's kind of funny because I ended up getting fired from that job because me and one of those guys was trying to start a company, and they found out about it, so that was frowned upon apparently. But what's funny is I came back to that guy years later, and we started GoWild. So I did a 7-year tour through advertising, learned a lot, but my heart was just not. I wanted to do something else. I wanted to do something for me. And I found I really didn't know. I didn't want to start a hunting company. I never thought about the hunting industry, but just realized that Silicon Valley builds products for Silicon Valley. Nobody's looking at this lifestyle and thinking about it in a tech way, and it's not fair. We're a huge contributor to the economy. It's the hunting and fish segment is 3 times the size of running and fitness combined, yet nobody's catering to us. So, we set out to do that, and I'm finally proud to say, you guys said it's the best app. Gear Junkie validated that. GoWild was named App of the Year for 2021 for hunters, so for social.
Congratulations.
So, thanks. It's come a long ways, and we are starting to see some tremendous growth and traction here.
The old adage, fish where the fish are, and it works perfectly with your app. I mean, people needed an app like this. You gave them an app like this, and voila.
Yep.
Look at that.
And so, Brad, for those who have not taken advantage of the GoWild app yet, let's envision you and Ramon and I are in an investment meeting, or you're talking to somebody, a novice, and you're having to explain exactly what is the GoWild app. Kind of give us a rundown for those who don't know.
Yeah, so the biggest difference is it's social media, but it's forum-based. So if you really want to talk about deer hunting, you can go into a forum. You're essentially posting into a forum. You can post a question, and anybody that follows that's going to see it. So the challenge with, if I post that question on my Instagram account, if I have 100 followers and they may not be specialists, but I can tap into specialists on our platform, ask questions, which is why on GoWild you see new members with, 3 followers. They'll have, I saw a guy last week, 3 followers. He posted a question in firearms asking about muzzle loaders. he had 41 answers that were a paragraph long in 6 hours. You just can't do that anymore else. You know, to tap into this hyperactive community with questions and for learning, there's nothing like it. You can also tag gear. So if he had asked a question about, you know, what backpack do you guys use for bow hunting? You know, people are commenting and tagging the gear right there. We've got 450,000 products that you can interact with socially. That updates every 24 hours. You can buy the gear. We're actually becoming a retailer as a part of that process. You can buy the gear right there, and we're donating 1% of our profits back into a camp called Raise 'em Outdoors that teaches kids to hunt and fish. So, you know, we're helping create future conservationists right there.
We're talking today with Brad Letrell. Brad is the co-founder and CEO of GoWild. Learn about them at timetogowild.com. So, I find that really appealing as well. I mean, I've had several people. It's really a family and a network and a community, because one example of that, hey, I want to learn about this. I've actually been part of conversations in GoWild where somebody says, I want to go hunt exotics in Texas. And then I've been tagged in stuff where it says, well, there's a guy by the name of Joe Bitar who's with Houston Safari Club Foundation. Maybe you should ask them. And next thing you know, we're connected. Yeah. And I'm looking at, 20 different answers, or I've had people call me actually from it, which I don't mind. Yeah. Hey, I want to come down there and bring my kids to hunt exotics. What is that all about? And next thing you know, you're involved in these conversations. And it's really, really interactive, and it's fun. Really is. And I've learned some stuff from other people as well.
It's hyperactive. I mean, I have to imagine, and I might be wrong on this, I'm guessing, I have to imagine we have the most active form of trappers, for example. That trapping, in my opinion, in a lot of ways, it seems like it's coming back. We see a lot of young people on that platform trying to learn about it. And the other day, I've gotten to be buddies with a lot of these people, right? There's a guy up in Michigan. He's a police officer. He's got me a friend of mine. We fish every summer in Michigan. And he sent me a text the other day. He met a guy, a young man, probably in his early 20s, who wanted to learn trapping. And Mike has been helping him learn. And he sent me a text. This kid had gotten 2 beavers in his first time out through learning through our platform. He got to be friends with Mike, and he was texting Mike that morning. And, dude, it's just like some of these stories come out, and I almost get teary-eyed because I see the direct impacts of this. People are learning how to do something. And Joe, you have a lot of great stories, and you and I have talked a lot about hunting traditions. But this modern era, especially through 2020, a lot of these people don't have a parent or a grandparent to teach them. They're leaning on technology. This is really for people that don't have that legacy to lean on. This is the way. You have to do it online, and somebody needed to build something that catered to that. And I just think this platform has done such a good job of it. And I'm bragging on my team. That's myself on the back.
It's deserved, and I want to come back to that new hunters thing. I still remember the day I walked in my grandfather's work shed and saw 2 old rusty traps hanging from a nail. It was like a scene from a movie. I was like, oh my gosh, I have found gold. It was awesome. Yeah. All right, folks. We're here today with Brad Letrell. Brad is the co-founder and CEO of GoWild. We're going to take a quick break on Hunting Matters on KPRC 950 and be right back with you. Welcome back to Hunting Matters on KPRC 950. I'm your host, Joe Bitar.
I am Ramon Robles.
Swinging us in with little Black Keys?
Yeah.
That's sweet.
You know the Black Keys?
Oh, yeah. I'm not that old. I am that old.
But
I still know what the Black Keys are. I have three young gentlemen, young sons, fairly young.
Okay.
So.
Very good.
I try to stay hip. I try to stay cool.
I worry. I have a 5 and a 3-year-old. I worry what they're going to be listening to when they're 12.
Yeah. Well, I even when my kids were teens, I was like my parents. I was like, you really like that? Yeah. Let me introduce you to some James Brown.
Yeah.
Here's a little Kiss. Mm-hmm. Here's a little Aerosmith original. Mm-hmm. That sort of thing. And now when we talk, I still have my old albums from high school and college. So that when they come home, we always put the old albums on. Like, Dad, let's play. Let's play the old stuff.
Nice.
Let's play some.
That's good.
Curtis Mayfield and stuff like that. They like that stuff.
I've rewarded my kids anytime a Beatles song comes on and they can sing with it, and they do sing with it, they get a treat.
You have a jar of treats for them?
I do.
That's cool.
Yeah, I have fruit snacks. So like a little dog, here's your fruit snack. Yeah.
Who's the artist? Who's the song?
That's right. Elvis and the Beatles.
Good boy.
Yeah. Who's a good boy?
He's a good boy.
Yeah.
All right. Folks, today on Hunting Matters, Brad Letrell is with us. Brad is the co-founder and CEO of GoWild. You can learn all about them at time2gowild.com. Good morning, Brad.
Good morning.
All right, man. Listen, let's get deep in the woods here. I've heard you talk about this and prophesy and whatever you preach about it, whatever. So I want to get your take on what is mentorship technology versus mindless technology for hunters. I know it's a big soapbox for you, so let's spread the word.
What was the first part of that, Joe? I missed the first. I heard the mindless. I didn't get the first
mentorship
part.
Technology versus mindless technology.
Yeah, that's a great question, man. I have my opinion on this is even constantly evolving. You know, I look at a lot of these tech platforms, and you know, they're so focused on time on platform, and you know, they're trying to get their time on the app up. And it's funny because we actually have the antithesis of that. Like we don't want you to spend all your time on the platform. We want you to come, you know, fill your knowledge with our platform and then get outside. And sometimes people misunderstand what we're doing, and they say, you know, I don't want another piece of technology that I'm getting notifications on in the field. And it's like, cool, I don't want that either. I want you to have a place where you can learn, and I want you to have a community you can turn to and get friendly advice. So in terms of those Silicon Valley metrics, you know, I had an investor ask us the other day, he said, you know, what's your daily active users? I said, we don't track that. I know that's a metric that you guys find important, but I don't care if people come back every day. We literally do not even look at that metric because it's not important to us. You know, what is important to us is, are people using the gear functionality to find new products? You know, 80% of our audience is looking for something new to help them in their pursuit. You know, we've even been debating, for example, I don't know if we'll do this for a variety of different reasons, but even just to show how our minds work here, we've been debating putting a timer on the platform so that if you were a person that wanted to sit down and, you know, hit those Facebook numbers of an hour a day, we might lock you out. Like that's
Wow.
the kind of thing that we've debated doing. The challenge with that is, okay, if somebody's in a DM and you're getting advice from your buddy and we kick you out of the platform, it's like, then that could be frustrating. So that's how that idea got shot down. But I use that as an example. You know, we really are trying to find ways to help people, and I don't think we're helping people if you're spending, you know, an hour a day on our platform. I want to build a platform where you can tap into, you can get advice, and you can get something that makes you better at whatever you love to do. Our new mission statement, we finally refined it down over the last summer to unlocking the gate to the outdoors. There's so many barriers on this show. You know this too. You know, if you're trying to get into deer hunting and you've always been a bass fisherman, it's like, oh my God, there's so many calibers that people hunt deer with. Oh my God, the difference between hunting deer in Texas and Kentucky is crazy different. That was part of why we founded the app. I was trying to get better at whitetail hunting, and I could not find people in my area to get mentorship from. So, you know, we've been hyper focused on teaching people through the platform, not by keeping people on the platform.
Right, and exactly. And you guys have done a good job of that. Folks, today we're talking to Brad Letrell. Brad is the co-founder and CEO of GoWild. You can see all their information at time2gowild.com. And Brad, a little bit earlier you alluded to products and retail in the last segment. So you guys just launched a new platform. It allows people to shop. You've got products on there, product reviews, people providing feedback on that. So basically you guys have kind of become a retailer. Can you talk a little bit more about that and how it's been perceived?
Yeah, the thing we realized is that we have so much information that is self-submitted information, right? It's publicly available on people's profile. They're sharing what gear they're using. And we said, well, part of shopping is trying to figure out, is this good for what I do, right? If you're looking at a gun, you want to know, is this great for deer hunting? If you're looking at fishing poles, you know, is this better for one species or another? So we're in the process right now. This is starting to roll out this week of the product display pages. Will have, you know, here are popular members using this product. Here are social posts. You can actually see if you're looking for a deer hunting, like that archery backpack I mentioned. You know, here's that backpack, and here are 10 posts that are tagged with that bag. And now you can interact with the people using it. You can ask them, and it's contextual commerce. You know, the tech industry has been all hot on talking about social commerce, but none of this is actually social when you're talking about Instagram or TikTok. It's just a sales channel. It's a way for the brands to make more money. They can, you know, put their product in your feed, but you can't interact with it. I can't send it to my buddy Joe. Within our platform, we've created a new way to interact with gear, to find information, to find useful information, and it's information from people. It's not information from brands. This isn't something that the brands really even have control of. It's a social product within that, and it's all about giving you the context to help you find the gear you need and maybe the gear you don't, because there's a lot of inflation in the industry of making it feel like you got to have that $400 coat to go hunting, but maybe you don't. Maybe for your first hunt you can just get those $70 cotton bibs and be fine, right? Like, we're trying to help people understand and again lower that barrier to unlock the gate to the outdoors, even if it comes to gear.
Yeah, and that's like me and Ramon walking to a Home Depot and just going in for a box of nails. Next thing you know, we had a cart full of drills and power tools. It's
exactly.
Hunting and home improvement. That's a death trap for me as far as walking in and going, you know what, I'm just going to come in and get a new lightweight parka today or whatever. And next thing you know, I leave and I've got a kayak and some new paddles and stuff strapped on top of the truck. It's not a good thing for me. Not a good thing for me. So I'm glad we had you on this week because you live, eat, and breathe in this world of social media, and it's rising to the surface. I've been getting phone calls. It's been obvious for a long time, but let's talk about big tech redefining what we can and cannot say and free speech. I want to get your take on that since you're living it every single day.
Yeah, man, I've spent a ton of time. I probably spent more time than anybody reading the terms and services of other platforms too. And a lot of people got mad about this when the president got kicked off Twitter, Facebook, and even Pinterest and all these different platforms. But I think we all have to pause and rethink, like realize what free speech is. The excuse is, well, these are private companies; they can do what they want. My point to that is exactly. They've been telling us for years they don't like hunting content. They don't even let fishing brands sell knives. Like, there's a lot leaning against our industry. We founded our company knowing, back in 2016, we said, okay, if this content is getting bullied, these ad policies are going to go this way. The industry is going to be kicked off of these platforms essentially long term. And we're essentially seeing what we saw play out right now, right? So we've been hyper-focused on making sure you have to play by the rules of Apple and Google and Amazon. There's been a lot of complaints about deplatforming, but, there's a fine line. If you're going to be on the iOS App Store, you got to play by their rules. So we do a really good job at GoWild of, enabling you to share your story. We have our own set of rules that abides by theirs, and I feel really confident in our future. But I do think, we got to realize that the easiest thing for these platforms to do is to just say, in one swoop that they don't approve of a type of content. And we have to also realize that sometimes that's not even as malicious as we think it is. Facebook has huge problems with suicides and beheadings and child pornography, and there's all this terrible stuff that's on their platform that they really have to focus on. And at the end of the day, there's just not enough knowledge and nuance within their own team to even realize some of the stuff we hear people complaining about. Someone was complaining about this morning, telling me that they got a 30-day ban on Facebook for posting extreme or illegal content. And it was a hog hunt. That the reviewer that saw that didn't understand that it was a legal hunt, which is actually spelled out in Facebook's own terms. You can post hunting content, right, but they don't understand what hunting content is. So, my big thing lately is just trying to get people in the outdoor industry overall to realize that building up a presence and a following on these platforms it's like building a glass house on sand. It's going to fall. Yes, you might be able to build a following and a presence there, but it's not what you think it is, and it can be taken away. You don't have a right to be on that platform. You
said it, man. Yeah, that was a perfect summation. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. We'll be back with Brad Letrell from the GoWild app. Hunting Matters on KPRC 950. Good morning. Welcome back to Hunting Matters on KPRC 950. I'm your host, Joe Betar.
I am Ramon Robles.
And we are talking today to Brad Letrell. Bad Brad. That's his nickname. I told you that creamer's got my mouth all messed up. Brad is the co-founder and CEO of GoWild. You need to go check out that app, the GoWild app. Go to download GoWild.com or timetogowild.com and learn about the app. Brad, thank you for joining us. Good morning.
Absolutely, guys. That's why I take my coffee black. I'm sweet enough.
Exactly. There you go. Yeah, that's what Ramon says.
Just like my wife.
So, Brad, I got to tell you, I've seen some of the photos of you and your office staff and your team, and it looks like you guys are having a really good time and not working at all. So I think you're having way too much fun at work. But It appears you guys have a pretty unique work environment, pretty unique team. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, we do. You know what's funny, man? We got access to this office, and it was very corporate. It had a very formal feel to it, and we took over and, have made it ours, and our team loves it. It's kind of run like it's older, and, we're working with a lot of older furniture even in here. But to us, your culture is not spending $10,000 a month on space. So we love our little space here in Louisville, Kentucky. We have a couple of remote employees as well, and we just have an amazing culture that transcends the office. But I mean, we do a retreat every year. We had to cancel it this year. We ended up doing a brief version of it outdoors here in Louisville because of everything that's going on. But I mean, you can't beat a team that just loves to get together and fish. We've had moments we'll go out and fish together, and we've done paddling trips together. This year we did a hiking trip so that we could do our retreat outside. And the magic of the platform is the talent and the team that gets behind this, and they just love it so much. I mean, you'll if you've ever messaged a GoWild team member, you get a response. Like, I can promise you that they just love taking care of our members and the product they get to work on, and they feel it's a privilege rather than a job.
Ramon, it sounds like we need to apply.
Yeah, I was just looking at his website for contact us, and I was going to look up job.
Download your resume here. There you go. That sounds like a really cool place to work. And I've met some of your team members, and everybody seems very happy. So, yeah, I think you're true to your word on that. So, Brad, this is a segment of the show where we ask nonsensical questions. So go ahead and just prepare yourself. Ramon, did you have any out of the cannon you wanted to ask Brad?
Well, if you were to travel straight north from Louisville, Joe,
yes,
what state would you be in?
Across the river. I don't have the map in front of me.
Oh, I didn't realize it was on the border of
Ohio?
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis.
Indiana.
Oh, Indianapolis. Indiana.
Yeah.
Did
Did you know that, Brad?
Yep.
Okay. See, Brad knew that.
The questions aren't supposed to be to me.
Oh.
It's supposed to be to the guests.
Oh, well, you said questions.
Yeah.
What does a typical work day look like for you? What time do you wake up?
Typical.
Don't lie.
With the past year, before I got the virus, I was waking up at 5. I would do a little workout or a run, take my kids to school, and then I'm kind of sitting in for the day at about 7:30 and work until dinner time. And I love to cook, so I'll come home and cook for my kids if I can, my kids and my wife. And I like to, we do a little Netflix or something with my wife if we can. And then I'm maybe a workaholic by some definitions, but I just love what we get to do. So sometimes I'll wind down by, grinding through an hour and a half of emails, or, I have my own podcast that I do too. So I'll edit the podcast and go to bed at midnight sometimes 10. I mean, I don't keep like a strict schedule. I'm not one of those founders.
This show will eventually be a podcast. So that last reference to your podcast will be edited out before we post the show. Just FYI. And what's the name of your podcast?
I have 2. Restless Native is podcast audio format only, and then I have one on YouTube called Gearbox Talk, where we bring experts in and do gear dumps. So, for example, we had like Tim Kennedy came in and dumped his everyday carry. Oh,
that's cool. Yeah, very cool. Yeah. And you must be a handsome guy to be on video. So that's
no, I have a face for podcasting, but I was the only one willing to sit in front of a camera. So
gotcha.
Hey, heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Right.
Hey, Brad, so we were talking about cooking a little while ago. So I hear you're famous for your smoked venison chili, and I have 2 questions. 1, why are you famous for it? And 2, what's the secret recipe?
So I won, when I was in advertising, I won 2 years in a row on the chili cook-off out of 15 different chilies, and they conspired against me to take my 3rd one. I almost still won. I was 1 vote shy. But I'm just saying, it's award-winning in a very small company of 50 people. So there's that. But it is really good, and as in a competition, it is so smoky and delicious that it does stand out. So I think I actually have that recipe on my GoWild profile. I'm 90% sure. If somebody wants to check it out, they can find it there. But essentially, I will do it a couple different ways. I'll smoke a roast on my big green egg over some apple, and I'll dice that up super thin, which is another thing that makes it really unique. People are really used to ground meat in a chili, but this slicing up long strands of meat makes it really fun for nachos, or even if you're just eating it traditionally. But I do think that recipe's on my profile, and it is phenomenal. I try to make it a couple times every winter.
Interesting. I'm going there now.
Sounds delicious. You need to send us some. All right, Brad, what's your most memorable hold my beer moment?
Oh, goodness. You know what? This isn't even a hold my beer moment, but when you said that, what came to mind was the team in the Ozarks with Brandon Butler. Brandon Butler, who the outdoor rider, let us stay there for 3 or 4 days and do our retreat when we were planning our e-commerce functionality. And in a moment of maybe having had too much fun on the water, my co-founders flipped over their canoe, in which I had left them with my $5,000 camera, and it ate the dust, bit the dust. It's not even dust. It just got soaked and ruined it. I don't know why. That's not even about me, but that's the moment that come to mind. We're talking about my team, so we have such a good culture. We laughed it off, and I still every now and then kind of tease them for ruining a $5,000 piece of gear.
Oh, that's not a hold my beer moment. That's just sad.
Good for you.
Yeah, it's just sad, but that's what came to mind.
Yeah,
that's how you got to roll.
So, Brad, one of the questions we'd like to ask people is if you could sit around a campfire and talk with one person, living or deceased, who would it be and why?
Dude, I got royally obsessed with Alexander Hamilton last year. Funny enough, I'm not a musical dude. Like, I hate musicals. My wife talked me into watching the musical, and it's hip-hop, so it's different, and it's cool, and I like all kinds of different music. But I had no idea the story of Alexander Hamilton and the founding of our country. I knew about the founding of our country, but you don't know it in the way that he participated in it, because in a lot of ways he was just kind of cleaned out of history, right? And I read that book last year, and I think he is one of the most inspirational founders of anything. And, as a founder of a company, I was so inspired by the guy that created, the New York Post, the Coast Guard, our currency, banks. Like, it just envisioned so many things about our country. And it was fun to read last year with all these debates that we've been having. And, so many people hearken to, it's not what our founding fathers intended. And I just really enjoyed getting to learn about how unclear those moments were and how much debate there was and how they hated political factions, or basically political parties at that time. So if I could sit down with anybody, I would love to pick his brain.
That's a unique answer. I don't think we've had that answer before.
Most of our guests are stupid.
Yeah,
and so,
true.
Brad here just brings the knowledge. Appreciate that, Brad.
Yeah, and an appreciation for hip-hop musicals.
Yeah.
I love it all except pop, man. Can't do pop music. It's awful.
There you go. So what is it, you've done a lot, obviously. What is it that you've not done in the outdoors that is on your immediate bucket list?
Man, you know what's funny? People think that you created this great app, this awesome hunting app. You must hunt all the time, and you must be a great hunter. I'm terrible. Well, not terrible. I'm like intermediate level, and I'm only hunted in, on the eastern side of the state or eastern side of the country in Texas. And I haven't traveled a bunch, so I really want to go on an elk hunt. I haven't done that. I think the adventure side of moving, I'm ADHD to the max. Sitting in a tree stand is very taxing for me, and I think I would like that style of hunting and moving a lot. I really want to do something like that, or to go up to Alaska with my buddy Lynn Hoffman, who is a big game guide up there. He hunts, or he guides brown bear, caribou, sheep, you name it, goats, whatever it is. And I would love to do something with him. I can't afford that at this point in my life, so I'm probably going to end up doing an elk hunt for my first Western big game hunt.
That'll be awesome, man. That sounds like an exciting trip. All right, final question out the door. You got to head out on a remote location for a couple of days. You can only take 3 things in your pack real quickly. What are those 3 things?
Lighter, knife, and oh my gosh, probably my Garmin, because it's loaded with awesome technology to get me back home.
That's a shameless plug for Garmin, but it's a good choice, because if you get lost, you definitely need them, and they're a great product.
Yep.
All right, Brad, thanks so much for joining us today, folks. We've been talking to Brad Letrell, co-founder and CEO of GoWild. Go get that app, folks, and learn about them at timetogowild.com. Brad, thank you so much for joining us.